beautiful people. Welcome to today's Facebook Live. First, let me introduce myself. If you are brand new to this group, welcome. I am Brianna. I am the founder of this group, and I help teen girls and young women end depression, anxiety, self-loathing, self-harm, suicidal thoughts so that they can really step into their power, their confidence, and really be the best version of themselves. And so I want to do, the topic for this Facebook Live is all around suicide and suicidal thoughts. This is the topic that most people don't want to talk about. Most people don't want to think that, oh my God, my daughter can actually be thinking of having these thoughts, of thinking that she wants to die, that she doesn't even want to be here anymore. Like, it's seriously gotten that bad. And so I feel like a lot of groups may not want to have this conversation and like what's going on, like on a deeper level, right? But this conversation needs to be had. It's the same thing with cutting. Nobody wants to talk about cutting. No one wants to think about your daughter cutting, but it's like, but the issue is there, so how can we not talk about it, right? And same thing with suicide. Same thing with suicidal thoughts. The issue is here, so let's have a conversation about it and not pretend that it's not there. And I'm not saying that any of you parents are pretending that it's not there, but it's an uncomfortable conversation. It's uncomfortable to talk about this. It's uncomfortable to talk to your daughter about what's going on in her mind. Does she have thoughts like this? Does your daughter have suicidal thoughts, right? How many of you parents have actually asked your daughter this question, Excuse me. So the topic is, why your daughter is having suicidal thoughts and or if she has attempted suicide, right? And so like so many other things, when we're talking about anxiety, when we're talking about depression, when we're talking about cutting, suicidal thoughts and suicide, oh, hey Noreen, love that you're here. When we're talking about all of these things, including suicidal thoughts and attempted suicide, I'm going to say the same thing that I say with all the others. This is a symptom. This is not the biggest issue that your daughter has. If she has suicidal thoughts or if she has attempted. I know it seems like it's a really big fucking issue. Excuse my language, but I'm going to cuss if I want to. I know it seems like it's a really big issue. And don't get me wrong, it is. But there's a bigger issue that not enough people are looking at. And it's this, what is underneath someone wanting to take her own life? What is underneath that? And here's the thing that I want to get across. It's your daughter's pain. It's your daughter's emotional pain that she doesn't know how to be with. She doesn't know how to handle it, right? So many girls, I've been getting on the phone with so many people lately, parents that are doing everything that they can to help their daughters. I'm getting on the phone with these girls who have tried so many things, and there's just a sense of hopelessness because the more that they try the therapy, they try the inpatient, they try the outpatient. They're like, well, I'm being a good student, Brianna. I'm doing all of the things that I am supposed to do. And why aren't I getting better? Why aren't I feeling any better? And here's what we have to look at, because if those things are not getting your daughter to a better place, then she is still having suicidal thoughts. And if your daughter is still having, if she has attempted, and that's still a really big fear and worry of yours, or perhaps your daughter as well, then we have to look at, again, what is underneath that. And so when your daughter doesn't know how to be a space for her pain, when your daughter doesn't know how to be a space for this emotional pain that's coming up inside of her, we all have emotional pain. You do too. What do you do with your emotional pain, right? A lot of parents don't know what to do with it either. Some parents are drinking, right? Because they're just like, I don't know what to do with this pain. Some parents stay really, really busy. Well, if I stay busy, I don't even have to confront the pain. Because I'm just too busy taking care of the kids and the family and the work and the job and all the things. So I'm not really going to confront it. And so you have to look at, how are you modeling this to your daughter, right? Your daughter picks everything up from you. So if you want your daughter to be able to be a space that can really hold her emotional pain, right? Where she doesn't have to try to avoid it or deny it or pretend it's not there or run away from it. One thing that you can also do is be a model of this, parents. And I know you just want to fix your kid, but you don't want to actually have to do the work on yourself. But your daughter is picking up so much from you. So what do you do with your emotional pain? What do you do when you're having a hard day? What do you do with all of that? Because regardless if you're talking about it or whatever you are doing in the house, your daughter is seeing what's going on, right? She feels that energy from you and everyone else that she lives with. So the first thing that I'm going to say is to start modeling this. And if you're like, Brianna, I don't have a clue where to start, then start doing the inner work for yourself. Because when you start doing the inner work for yourself, it's going to have a ripple effect. Meaning it's going to help everyone around you, not just you. And this is the same thing that I hear from the girls who come into my program. The ripple effect of them doing this incredible work on themselves is that they get to go back to their families and be in a space where they can be like in so much love and gratitude and not so much in resistance to, oh, I hate my life, everything sucks, I just want to die, I don't want to be here anymore. That stuff puts a whole strain on the whole entire family. It's not just your daughter we're talking about. We're talking about the whole entire family, right? It changes the family dynamics. I speak to so many parents and they're just at their wits' end because, you know, they love their daughters so much, but they're like, I can't keep going on like this. I can't do this. Something's got to give. Something's got to change. I love my daughter, but this is ridiculous. This has gotten out of control. And yes, it has gotten out of control because if you've seen the statistics for how many girls every single day are trying to kill themselves, it has gotten out of control. So let's talk about this thing that I'm talking about with the pain, right? This emotional pain, okay? So when girls are feeling some intense emotions, right? They're feeling lonely, they're feeling abandoned, they're feeling guilty, they're feeling shame, they're feeling blame, they're feeling angry, they're feeling frustrated, they're feeling all sorts of emotions, and sometimes it's not even one, sometimes it's like 5 different ones, sometimes it's 10 different emotions all at once. And you know what it feels like? It's like a juggling match. They're like, oh my God, I'm juggling all these emotions. I got anger over here, I got overwhelm over here, I got sadness over here, I got frustration over here, I'm gonna blow. I mean, and this is how these girls feel. They feel like they're going, like something's gonna pop, right? And so they can't keep going through their lives just juggling all of these emotions, because where do these emotions go? Uh-oh, I'm on 10% of my battery. I'm gonna have to plug in my phone at some point before my phone dies on me. It is all good. So they're juggling all of these emotions, but not understanding how to be with any one of these emotions, because they don't know how to be with their sadness. They don't know how to be with their anger. They don't know how to be with some grief. They don't know how to feel this shame over here. They don't know how to feel this blame over here. They don't know how to let go of this mistake that they made 5 years ago that they keep revisiting over and over and over again, like a broken record. So all of this stuff is going on, and this is a perfect storm for suicidal thoughts and suicidal attempts. This stuff doesn't happen overnight. Your daughter wanting to kill herself, this is not something that just appears out of nowhere. She has to be in a pretty poor mental state for a while for it to get to the place where she is wanting to kill herself. Okay? It doesn't just come out of thin air. It really doesn't. Okay, so let's take a look at, again, we're talking about this emotional pain, and I described it almost like as a juggling act, right? By the way, I didn't say this. If you guys are watching live, please let me know that you are here. Just comment live. And if you are coming back and watching the replay, comment below replay. Okay. So your daughter's juggling all of these emotions. She doesn't know what to do with them. So many girls, because the emotional pain is, hey Stephanie, because this emotional pain is so severe, hey Amanda, because it's so intense and they've never been taught what to do with all of this pain that's inside of them, it's physically like in their body. And to them, it feels like the worst thing in the world. They're like, how do I leave? How do I get out of this body? I need to disappear. I need to run away. I can't feel this anymore, right? A lot of girls cut. I'm not going to get into all of that because I've done plenty of Facebook Lives on that. I'll do plenty more. That is one way that girls they don't know how to feel their pain. So they'll substitute it out. Okay, I'll feel physical pain because I don't want to feel the emotional pain. And I had one of my, a client in one of my group sessions, she said something so beautiful. I've never heard it articulated in this way. And she self-harms or she has self-harmed in the past. And she said it something like, I would rather experience, the physical pain because the emotional pain is too great for me. It's too much. And this is the case for so many girls and young women. But let's go beyond just the cutting. What happens when the cutting is not enough anymore? What happens when your daughter, who's already cutting, you've seen the scars, you know that she's cutting, or maybe your daughter is cutting and you don't have a clue because she's covering up her arms. It doesn't have to be on her arms. It could be on her body. It can be on her hips. It can be on her stomach. She can cut anywhere, right? So, but what happens when the cutting doesn't give enough? Oh, Kristen, hello. What happens when that's not enough for her, right? The cutting isn't going to work anymore. It never really did work, right? But what happens when it's like, yeah, she needs something more? This is when it gets very dangerous. It's already dangerous when your daughter is cutting. Okay, let's be honest and real with that. But here's where it goes into even more dangerous territory. When your daughter starts thinking, well, the cutting's not working, so what does she have left? Then she goes to the suicidal thoughts. Well, what if maybe I should just end it. I mean, I'm such a failure. I'm such a disappointment. Like, nobody would even miss me. Like I'm not enough. Like, nobody loves me. These are the things that these girls say. I'm not just making this stuff up out of thin air. Right? And so when they have this playlist, this talk track of I am a failure, I am a disappointment, I am not enough, I'll cut deeper, and then it becomes an accident as well. Yes, I'm just going to plug in my phone so my phone doesn't die. Hold on, you guys. Thank you for your patience. Of course this thing to plug in my phone is like super small. Or short. It's short, so it doesn't. Okay, there we go. Hold on one second. Okay, now I'm crooked. Am I crooked? I think I'm crooked. Okay. I think if I'm crooked, we're just going to have to deal. Okay. There we go. Okay, so where was I? So when the cutting is not working anymore. Okay. Oh, I remember where I was. So your daughter then goes to the suicidal thoughts. Right? And the shit that your daughter is saying to herself is pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Right? And so when she's got this playlist. It's not a happy, positive playlist. It's I want to die. I don't want to be here anymore. I'm disgusting. I am worthless. I am a waste of space. Right? Again, I'm not making this shit up. So when your daughter has thoughts like this, how long can she withstand these kinds of thoughts before something's going to happen? Right? She can only say these things to herself for so long before something is going to happen, before she's going to do something. Something is going to set her off. Something is going to trigger your daughter. If she's already in a poor mental headspace, she's already in a bad mental state, it doesn't take that much to set your daughter off. And it's never about the thing that you think it is about. It's not about, oh, let's say she broke up with her boyfriend. It's not about that thing that caused her to want to kill herself that's giving her the suicidal thoughts, that's the trigger point. That is the trigger point, but that is not the real issue, right? The issue, again, is going back to your daughter doesn't know how to be with her emotional pain. She doesn't know how to process her pain. She doesn't know how to feel her feelings. That is the thing that we need to talk about. Your daughter doesn't know how to feel her feelings. Now, most people know how to feel happy. We don't need a manual for that. Feel happy. Sure. I'm happy. Well, some girls actually do need a manual for that. I'll take that back, because a lot of girls don't know how to be happy because they've been depressed and miserable for so many years. So it's like, oh my God, be happy? Oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? How can I be happy? But I've been miserable, Brianna. I've been so depressed for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. I don't know how to be happy, right? So some girls do need a manual for how to be happy. Yeah, thank you, Stephanie. But here's the thing. Your daughter hasn't been given a manual either on how to be with her feelings and her emotions. And for most teenage girls and for most young women, they've gotten really good at shoving down the shit that they don't want to feel. They wear a mask to hide the pain. Yep, Noreen, you got it. You know it. So they shove it down, and they've gotten really good at shoving it down. They can give a whole lecture on it. They know it so well. If they wrote a paper on shoving down their emotions, they would get an A++ on that. They know it. But they don't know how to do anything different. They don't know how to be vulnerable. They don't know how to feel and process what's coming up for them. They don't know how to juggle all of these different emotions, right? And they don't have an ounce of resiliency. Let's talk about that for a moment. And I have to be mindful on the time because I do have a group coaching session in about 5 minutes. So this might be a two-parter. Plus, they can't deal with the pain because social media only shows how happy people are. Yeah, social media is a lie, but they believe it. Yes, absolutely, Noreen. They do. They believe it. So what happens when, I can't remember what I was saying right before that. So they're feeling all of this pain. They're feeling all of these emotions. They don't know what to do with it, right? I said earlier, they can write a whole lecture on like how they shove it down, how they deny it, how they avoid it. How many of your daughters are like sleeping in her bedroom, like she comes home from school, or maybe she's not even able to go to school because her mental health is so bad, and she's like sleeping hours on end. She sleeps away her weekend. She's sleeping away her life. She doesn't really want to be sleeping. You know what she doesn't want to do? She doesn't want to feel. She doesn't want to feel. This is a real big problem. This is a real big problem. And even if your daughter is not presenting signs of suicidal thoughts, even if your daughter is not presenting signs of cutting, let's say it's some anxiety, let's say it's some depression, you got to be really careful, parents, because if your daughter already doesn't know how to feel and process her emotions, I'm telling you, the road of this is not pretty. It's not pretty. And I'm not trying to scare you, but I'm also not going to come on a Facebook Live and sugarcoat things either, because I would not be serving you, and I would not be speaking in my truth about what I know to be true with these teen girls and young women that are so much struggling right now. They're in so much emotional pain. And all they want to do, they just want to be happy. They just want to go back and live their lives, and they want to be happy. They want to be confident. They want to love themselves. They might not articulate that all to you, but that's what they want. And that's what you want for your daughters as well. How do we get them there? How do they get to a place from suicidal thoughts and attempting to kill themselves to being happy and confident and loving who they are? The work, how to get your daughter there, is doing the inner work. And a lot of girls just don't want to do it. They're lazy. They don't want to, it takes too long. I don't want to work on myself, right? Or some of these girls have been trying to do all the things because they've been going to therapy. Therapy doesn't always dive in deep enough. If your daughter has been going to therapy for years and she's still struggling, therapy has not worked for her. So sometimes it's not really your daughter, because if your daughter's trying all the right things and it's still not working and she's still having suicidal thoughts, then what? Is now 22 and has said anything other than a pill to help her, so I'm confirming that all of the issues are still there, even though she has a college degree now. Yes. I am getting waves of young women coming in to work with me in my program. Young women who are in college. I have one girl who a week before coming into my program tried to kill herself. She tried to hang herself. This is real shit that's going on, parents, and we have to wake up and we have to take off our rose-colored glasses thinking that, oh, it's okay. My daughter's okay. She can handle it. Can she? Can she really handle it? Because if your daughter is presenting signs already that she can't handle her life, that she can't handle these challenges that are coming her way, then that's a real big problem, because this doesn't get better on its own. It really doesn't. And so you have to be mindful of, what is your daughter doing to change this? What are you doing to get your daughter the help so that she's not living in a state of suicidal thoughts? Now, you can live in a state of suicidal thoughts, but where does it go? At some point, is she going to try to kill herself? Because that is a real possibility too. And I don't wish this on any parent. It's a nightmare. And having spoken to, I need to go in a minute. Having spoken to so many parents who have tried everything, and their daughters have tried to kill themselves, and they've done the inpatient and they've done the outpatient. I spoke to a girl just last week, a young woman in college, and she had tried to take her life like several days before then. And then I got a text message from the mother the day after I spoke to her daughter, the day after I spoke to this mother, and her daughter was in the hospital because she tried to kill herself again. No, not for the first time. It had happened before. And this is really messed up because it doesn't need to happen. These girls have everything inside of them to persevere, to have that resiliency, to have that grit, to feel their emotions in a healthy way and to process through them, so they are not ending up in an inpatient or a mental health ward or a psychiatric facility because they can't grip with their life, because they don't know how to handle it. If you want to know more, if you want my help, private message me, reach out to me. I will leave my webinar below called Healing the New Medicine for Anxiety and Depression. Reach out to me if your daughter is struggling and if she wants the help. I'm telling you right now, these are serious times and serious matters for what is going on for these teenage girls and young women. And it doesn't have to be so hard to get the help, to get the right help for your daughter. But it takes a different approach, and it takes you opening up your eyes to see what else is possible for your daughter. And it doesn't always happen to be in a pill and therapy, okay? There's so much else that can help your daughter, but you have to have an open mind about it. If you think that those are the only two things that can help your daughter, then that is the route that you are going to take. And if it's working for your daughter, then keep doing it. But if it is not working for your daughter, then it may be time to do something different. So reach out to me if you want my help. I apologize. I am going to have to go because I do have a group coaching session right now. So I got a boogie. I'm sending you guys lots of love. If you have questions, leave them below. I'll make sure to answer them. I will leave my masterclass below as well. Again, check that out, Healing the New Medicine for Anxiety and Depression. What I am doing with these girls is the work that's not being done in therapy. It's the work that's not being done in these inpatient and outpatient facilities. And I know that from the girls and the parents that I have spoken to over and over and over again. And your daughter doesn't have to struggle if she doesn't want to anymore. So reach out to me if you want my help. I'm sending you guys so much love. Mwah. Bye for now.